Hey everybody, it's Moose here, and today I have a special interview for you guys. I'm here with the Four Monkeys, aka Kim and David. They have been on YouTube for a very long time, around 2007. They make Lego animations, and yeah, they like I said, they just been around YouTube for a long time. I basically see them as Lego animation veterans on YouTube. And thanks for coming on the show.
Well, thanks for having us. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right. Well, I usually always ask this question to a lot of animators that I interview on the channel: is what initially got you into doing animation on YouTube?
One night I was up late watching Robot Chicken, and I thought that would be kind of cool and fun to do. And with computers and modern, technology, you wouldn't have to use film. So I decided to give it a shot. I downloaded like a free software for my Mac and did a few animations with Hot Wheels, and it was fun.
All right.
As far as Lego goes, though, got to give credit to Forest Fire 101 for that one.
Yeah, my son told me about the Lego animations, and he had a whole bunch of Lego laying around the house that he played with. He was that age back then to play with a bunch. And he told me about someone online called Forest Fire 101, so that's probably why we got into doing the Lego instead of just stop motions of Hot Wheels and things like that.
Right, and you guys you and Forrest have collaborated a bit in the past. I know that Kim has done some a lot of voice work for Forrest all over the years. Like you voiced Batgirl, correct, on a few occasions, right?
I did. Yeah, actually, Dave, I think, was in a couple of videos, and I've been in quite a few. And I just to be fair to Forrest, because I know a lot of people think we collaborate. Forrest is just the genius mastermind behind everything, and Dave, we're just lucky if he happens to be able to use our voice, and we're just like, yeah, sure, whatever you want.
Yeah. Well, like I said, you guys do some great voice work, and yeah, like you said, like I'm glad you guys are being part of Forrest stuff and Forrest videos. So when looking at you guys' history, I know like you've been lately have been making videos for some companies. If I look at my notes, you did a video for ESPN, and or you did a video that was part of ESPN's video about anime's recreation the game of 7 World Series. And so yeah, I was just essentially saying that you guys make some stuff like that. So what is that kind of like to kind of be part of like making stuff for companies and stuff like that?
Well, we actually just got really lucky with that video when we were doing the sports videos. They were really easy to share, and a lot of news places would pick them up both locally. And that particular video just happened to really go viral, and they just happened to pick it up and write the story on their own along with many other people. So that was really exciting and surreal. I know The View. Was that the same video?
I think you're talking about 5 different videos.
Okay, 5 different.
We did a bunch of videos for Oyo Sports, and we were actually hired on contract for them from 2014 to 16. So we did a bunch of videos for them. A few of those made it on to like ESPN, and maybe I think Sports Illustrated even put a few of the videos on their channel. But we stopped working for them in 2016. So later on in the year, I had a whole bunch of the Chicago Cubs minifigures along with the Cleveland Indians. And with the Cubs going to the World Series, I figured there'd be a lot of buzz about that. So I decided, and since Game 7 was really an awesome game, I did a recreation of it. It got a lot of views. So that was actually on our own after we stopped working with Oyo. But they liked the video so much, they threw us a little bit of money to give us them an edit of it so they could put it on their own channel.
Yeah, Chicago fans. I mean, that was so exciting for them, and they were so sweet and supportive. So that was a lot of fun to share and connect with people on that.
Yeah, that's really cool. So would you guys say that you guys are a big fan of sports?
Somewhat a fan. I mean, I appreciate sports. I wouldn't go so far as to say I'm a complete fanatic about sports, but I enjoy watching sports, especially if it's my own team. Lately, I've been really excited about my Atlanta United soccer team.
Mm-hmm.
They're fun to watch. So I've been into soccer a little bit more lately, but I enjoy watching lots of different sports. But I'm not someone that's on the couch for 12 hours every Sunday or whatever watching certain sports.
Yeah, I would say I'm the same way. I actually, funny thing, I used to play a bit of sports way back then, and like that's how I kind of got into the whole thing. So, yeah, just a little fun fact there. But yeah, I'm not that too big into sports, but yeah. Also, I just wanted to ask about just a few videos that you guys have made, and well, I never got to mention, but before I saw you guys' stuff working with Forrest, one of the first videos I saw from you guys was around 8 years ago, and it's called it was a series that you guys did for the Empire Are Jerks.
Those were fun.
Yeah, so
I need to make another one.
so I was gonna ask if you guys were actually gonna be making more in the future, like more like community videos like that for Star Wars, or do you think that series is just kind of like yeah, we're gonna be moving on to other stuff?
We might make another one of those. We do continue to keep buying Star Wars Lego stuff. We just recently got a cool TIE fighter on a pretty good sale price. So we keep buying Star Wars Lego stuff. So I predict that we will make another Star Wars Lego, whether it's Empire Jerks or something else. But I kind of like taking the comedy route. I think it's kind of fun to work with that on Star Wars, do a parody, because there's a lot of legit, really good Star Wars films and fan films and Lego films that are just, you don't need to compete with them.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna ask actually. So like, you do take a lot of bit of comedic route with some properties and with your own ideas, and what I really like about you guys is that you take a lot of concepts and just kind of like flip them over their head a little bit, and also just like also just do some fun little ideas, like the Thor video you guys did. That was a lot of fun. With Thor going forward, with the putt and with golf. So I really enjoy like the stuff like that. And so I was actually going to ask about, when it comes to Lego animation, and I know there's some people watching that are really into Lego animation or want any tips or anything like that. Is there any sort of advice that you can give to beginning Lego animators?
Oh, geez.
Here, well, you think
Practice is for one thing, because if you look at a lot of my old animations, they've come a long way. But get yourself some good stop motion software for frame capture. I think that's a helpful one that either has onion skinning or loop last frame. I think that is extremely helpful to getting nice fluid animations.
But when you're just starting, though, you don't really need to spend a lot of money. You can even do things with your phone, like Akash did.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of inexpensive ways, especially when you're first starting. To me, the most important thing that I always tell, especially young people, is just have fun.
Be creative.
Just let your imagination go wild. That's the cool thing with Lego or any stop motion that you create yourself, is that, you can just let your imagination take over and enjoy it. A lot of people are all about, it's all about the subs, but really it's all just about having fun, because if you enjoy what you're doing and make a story that you like, then most of the time other people are going to like it as well.
Right. Yeah, and I also agree. I think that's what I really considering I've been on YouTube for a little while, and when it comes to making stop motions, I think the big thing is like you said, just to be creative and have fun with it. Especially and I also say just practice and have patience, and just know that that when it comes to creating your own ideas and stuff like that, I just say just do it. I feel like there's really nothing, not a lot holding you back, unless like you feel like your idea is a little like limited due to the art form. But I still believe that that there's so many talented people in the stop motion community, and especially with Lego animation. Like I know, like I remember asking Forrest, and I would like to get you guys' opinion on this as well. Is with Lego animation, with Legos being so like a little bit limited articulation, do you guys find, or David, do you find yourself feeling a little limited, or do you feel like with Lego you feel like you can basically do anything with it?
There are limits to what you can do with stop motion in the Lego. I mean, it's cool how a lot of people these days are pulling the arms out and using sticky putty to do extended different movements, and some people are shaving either the inside of the Lego heads or the necks to give you more articulation on the neck, to give you some wobble there. And there's a lot of creative ways of getting around the limitations of the Lego, and that's one of the things that's really cool about Lego stop motion. But it's also can make it easier on you. If you just want to do a easy walk across the floor, doing it with studs is super easy. But the second you go on a flat tiles and having to add the putty tack, it becomes a little bit extra work. But it also looks a lot better too. So it allows a lot of different levels of what you're, whether it's just beginner type stuff or just incredible animations that look like the Lego movie. It's just there's lots of things you can do with Lego, so it's quite awesome.
And also, like you mentioned, patience. If you don't have patience, stop motion animation is not for you.
Definitely.
That's why podcasts are so great, because you can just sit there and listen to them while you work, and 3 hours will go by and it's like, whoa.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good segue, because actually I was going to ask about the Brick Filmers Guide podcast. So I was going to ask about it. So essentially with your, and I'm pretty sure, hopefully I said this right, Paul Hollingsworth. Yeah, so yeah. So with that first episode, kind of launching that podcast, essentially, what was the idea about making that podcast? So I can tell you do a lot of animators that are part of the same genre of Lego animation, like you said with Assad and with Forrest and a few other people with and you recently interviewed Adam Nyes. Is that correct?
That's correct. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what kind of made you feel like, oh yeah, this is the kind of podcast we would like to do? Is it just because you guys are part of the community, or you guys just want to do something similar where you're just like, we want to tell like these people's story initially and get more people to know more about the people behind the channels?
I think that's exactly it. I mean, having our website, the Brick Filmers Guild, we
wanted to have something else besides just a little list of brick filmers. We wanted to have sort of a product on the website. So we wanted to make a podcast for that. Because I was working pretty much full time doing stop motion for Oyo then, I also liked that's when I got into listening to podcasts, and I was like, oh, this would be a great thing to do, is make a podcast and be able to talk to people and basically try to get information from them to learn how to be a better brick filmer. So it was for my own education, is I wanted to talk to people to figure out their tricks and get tips from them to make me better, so I could do my job better for Oyo. So that was part of it. But a lot of it was, I just wanted to, we wanted to make friends with a lot of these people we've been chatting with via, messages on YouTube or Twitter or whatever, and then just to be able to talk to somebody for an hour or two, you make friends, and that was the other reason. So
and it's
fun.
Nice to also introduce some of these people that aren't as well known, but are brilliant animators, so that other people can, see their work. We like to, bring attention to it, share their work, and, getting tips from these people, that's always just
gold.
Yeah, gold.
Yeah, and that's what I really like about the podcast too. Even though myself, I'm not too much of a Lego animator, more of like an action figure animator. It still applies, I think, with because stop motion animation is such a such a thing that anybody can do with anything, with like that's with claymation, action figures, or like you said with Lego. So I just really enjoy the podcast, and initially that's a little bit of my if I'm being honest, it's a little bit of my inspiration for the interviews actually. So I really like the concept of getting to know that person, and also just like getting their sense of ideas, and their like I said, their ideas, and also just getting like their perspective on stop motion. So I actually wanted to also ask on about talking about voice acting. So, because you guys have done some voice acting before, and I just thought maybe there's some people watching know you for your voice acting. So, I also wanted to know that has voice acting has that been a passion for you guys, or has that just been something where has it been a passion, or would you say that's just something you're like, oh yeah, we'll do that too? We'll just since why not?
Well, I mean, I think it's kind of funny because we don't consider ourselves very good. We're kind of limited in our
acting abilities.
Right. We know that we're not very good. And as far as our own videos, we purposely will write the script according to what we can and cannot do for our voices. Now, back, when we first started, there weren't very many female brick filmers. And so I got asked a lot simply because I was a female.
Right.
And I even did like male voices as well, which makes me cringe when I hear myself doing that. But is what it is. It was all part of the process, and some of the voice work has been pretty good. And yeah, if we have people like Forrest that want to, will jump at a heartbeat and jump as high as he wants to voice in his.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky from our voice acting. Most of it comes from Forrest's channel, but there's a couple other channels like Thomas Blob Studios. I think he has a bunch of views on videos that we've been in, but I suspect our voices between the two of us have been in videos with well over 100 million views. So
just from Forrest alone.
From just our voice acting. So I don't know if people recognize our voices. It's probably yours more likely than mine, but our voices have been out there.
Yeah, but I mean, it's fun as long as we can. Do something where we feel like we're not ruining the video. It's a fun thing to do, and I have
screaming and singing are not our strong points.
No, definitely not. But I mean, if I could get paid to do some voice acting, I did. Oh, I actually did. I got one paid voice acting. I did. I think like one line, and I got paid for it. And I was like over the. No, I think it was like 25.
Okay.
But I was like over the moon. It's like I got paid for voice acting. It's really cool.
But since we are talking about voice acting, I think one of the most where we sort of got introduced to Forrest is he actually had a voice acting call for the Emperor Palpatine in one of his videos, and I tried out for it, and evidently I did a good job of doing Palpatine, so that's how we first started voice acting for Forrest, as I played Palpatine in a video where I think he gets diarrhea or something like that.
And plus I think because we were adults, and when you need a parent or somebody a little bit more adult than some of these child voice actors, also we came in handy for that. So.
Yeah, I think Forrest was like 15 when I met him.
Yeah, so it was helpful to have some, adult female and male voice actors to call on.
We had a good microphone too.
Yeah, that too. That helps. Good microphone. That's definitely key.
Right. Yeah, I was actually about to. I was just about to lead to my next question. Is essentially like if you had any tips on voice acting, whether that's like doing so with your voice or. Like you just mentioned, good audio quality with a good microphone. So, do you have any tips on that?
We have a Zoom H2, I believe, microphone, and it's pretty cool because it's just battery operated, but it looks like a handheld microphone, so you just hold it, and then it records. And we record our lines in our car. And I'm hoping that makes it sound good, but it really cuts down any of the weird noises. I mean, if you try to do your lines in, say, a bathroom, it's going to sound horrible and very echoey. So you don't want to do your lines in a bathroom. And we've been having a lot of luck for years recording all of our lines in our car in our garage.
You need to check the levels too. Like I always have Dave, if I'm doing it, look at the levels to make sure I'm not over modulating, and you want to make
too soft.
Right. So those are important too. I think those are the two most important things. And know your limitations. I wish I would love to get tips on, being a better voice actor, just for my own purposes. But as far as recording, that's definitely it.
Yeah, one of the guys that had me do some lines a while, Austin, I think frame 100 or frame 5, he actually sent me the lines with him doing the lines as the way he wanted me to do them, and that was very helpful. So if you have a short list of lines and just as the director say the lines for your acting talent, that can be helpful too.
Yeah, because nobody knows how you want a line, said better than the person writing the script. So yeah, that would be very helpful. I always like it if I get to copy somebody's voice. Like when I did Harley Quinn, I just listened to a bunch of old cartoons with Harley Quinn, and I like to be able to copy a particular voice. That's easier for me personally.
Yeah, that actually helps a lot, considering that I do some bit of voice acting too. I voice act for a lot of people's videos, and I usually record in a small closet that I have. It's just I usually record in a smaller closet, or like you said, like in my car. So I do my best to make sure that whenever I record something, that it's the best quality possible. So I mean, I was just basically asking for myself, and also there's probably some people who are wanting to get into voice acting or have voice acting people's stuff and say, oh man, I just really want to be better. And so I guess going on to my next question is if you can tell us, is there any future projects that you would like to work on, or that you are currently working on currently, whether that's stuff for the podcast or just Lego Animations in general? Is there anything that you can tell me about, that you can tell us about future projects?
We actually, after our podcast with Adam, we've actually recorded another podcast, so we have that ready, which will be released in 2-3 weeks or so, maybe not that long. Right. So we do have another one that we've already done, which is good because Dave has a very busy September, so we try to get them in when we can. We are also working on a commission project for someone that will come out at the end of the year. Mm-hmm. And as far as personally,
we're slowly working on trying to make another Galactic Smugglers. It's just I'm not sure the direction I want to go with the next episode, and I'm just experimenting.
Right. So I also wanted to ask, essentially, what would you guys just say, we're looking back at you guys' video, and you guys made a lot, what would you guys just say has to be your favorite video of yours?
Oh my.
And then it's funny when we ask people that, they're like, that's like trying to choose between, your children. You just can't do it. I mean, I don't think I have a particular favorite. It was fun listening to Dave laugh this morning watching some of our old videos. Spidey needs a sidekick, even though quality-wise, it was not very good. It was funny, and that was the first time we had what you would call a famous brick filmer. We had Thomas, Blob Studios, who voiced in that, and that started the beginning of a wonderful friendship, and so that was kind of fun to watch. I also like the sad truth, because I kind of like when you have the real hand, a little surprise ending, and I thought that was fun. And I think the episode of Galactic Smugglers, that was with Thomas too, Pone, because I love Scottish accent is my favorite, so we got to hear him talk a little bit more, and that was nice. And then what was the first episode with Gareth? Was that the fourth one?
That would have been the one after that. Maybe the fifth one. So
yeah, when Gareth took over the role of Doc in Galactic Smugglers, that was brilliant. I don't like hearing myself trying to voice Doc in the previous episodes. I don't know what I was thinking, but luckily Gareth agreed to do that, and he has just completely made that part and made the whole series just so brilliant.
For someone as brilliant CGI. His acting is incredible.
Yeah, and again, he's a dear friend, so that has been a wonderful relationship that we've had with him over the years. So those are my personal favorites.
I just love my whole thing I've written for Galactic Smugglers, and it's not
that's our baby.
It's our baby. It's not the best writing in the world, but it's we've been able to create a little world, a little universe, and it's just been fun to make these characters come to life and be creative. And sometimes you get bogged down too much in doing things the technical way, and you just got to go back to your imagination and be creative and follow that lead. And I like what we've been able to do with it.
We've had a lot of fun voice actors too, so that's been really neat too. Brick Idiots is funny too, because it's just silly. We're very silly people. We like puns, and so Brick Idiots kind of is just a fun, silly, based on the show Jackass. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but
yeah.
But yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I was actually that's a great segue into kind of like the next question, and I asked some people this that have been around YouTube, and I would say like because sometimes we make some videos that we're like if I could do that better, I would do this and this, but if you had a video that you could redo, what would that be?
I don't know. Maybe Galactic Smugglers 2 and fix it so that I could get paid for it. Because it's got copywritten music, and actually I think there's even scenes from the ending of Star Wars in it at the beginning of it. There's really bad flicker on Galactic Smugglers 2. That's the Benny Hill one, chase.
And I would have Gareth voice the entire series.
His voice changed for a reason. His hand got cut off by Mr. Krabs' alien.
Right.
Or mute.
So that worked out well. Plus, I think Gareth didn't want to scream, and I had to scream in that one. So that worked out well.
Yeah, actually, that's a really good answer. Considering that I watched a little bit of Galactic Smugglers before the interview, and I think you guys have done a good job with it. I know you said with quality and stuff like that, but that like we all have to work with what we have, and when it comes to certain time periods, and we always grow and everything. So I understood that you guys like to probably work with what you had at the time, and also I just think with the videos themselves, I think they're just charming. They're just charming videos. So so I actually just going on to my last question is what would you guys like to say to your fans and supporters?
Do we have any fans?
Out there.
No.
Thanks for watching our videos. I mean, they're not 100% professional quality for the most part, but hopefully they're interesting enough and fun enough to watch. So thanks for watching our videos.
Yeah, no, we definitely appreciate anybody who supports us. We've had a lot of great feedback from the podcast, and people who appreciate us bringing the brick filmers around the world a little bit closer to them, and it's been really sweet, and we like to do what we can for the community, and we appreciate everybody who watches and listens and hangs around.
All right, I think that's about it. So thank you guys for coming on, and I really appreciate you guys are answering my questions and everything. It's been great, and so everybody, thank you so much for listening. If you guys want to check out their YouTube channel, their website, their Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of that will be in the description. And just go, please check them out. They definitely deserve more supporters and more subscribers and more followers. And so just thank you guys so much.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it. It was a pleasure talking to you.